Farm City Banquet. So if you will please help me welcome Sharon Spencer of Franklin County Farm Bureau to the stage. We are going to introduce our guest speaker.
Well, good evening. Good evening. Everybody's still eating. I tell you what, this is so great to actually see everybody in person. Normally, anymore, when we go to things, you see people from here to here, and that's about all on these Zooms. So it's so nice to actually get to see face-to-face with folks. So thank you so much for coming out. And it's my honor that I get to introduce our special guest speaker. Dr. Ryan Quarles serves as Kentucky's Commissioner of Agriculture. First elected to the position in 2015 and was re-elected in 2019, winning 117 out of 120 counties. Under his leadership, the Kentucky Department of Agriculture started several new programs, including the initiatives to combat hunger, connect Kentucky farmers to new markets. Quarles is a strong voice and a fighter for agriculture, not only in Kentucky, but also on the regional and the national level. He has served as the president of the National Association of State Departments of Agriculture, which Kentucky hosted the NASDAQ conference in 2021 to showcase Kentucky to other agriculture leaders across the states. He also serves as president of the Southern Association of State Departments of Agriculture and as chairman of the Republican Agriculture Commissioners Committee. Quarles graduated from the University of Kentucky in 2006 with 3 undergraduate majors and 2 graduate degrees. In 2008, he graduated with a master's degree in higher education from Harvard University. He received his law degree from the University of Kentucky and a doctorate in higher education from Vanderbilt University in 2018. Wow. I'm tired just reading this. Impressive. From 2010 to 2014, Quarles served as member of the House of Representatives. He's a native of Scott County, and he grew up on his family's farm in central Kentucky, an area where his family has farmed and lived for more than 200 years, which is great. That's generational farming. But he's concerned, because of course, I was supposed to stop like right there. No. But the most important job and the most difficult job is being my big boss. It's been my privilege and my honor to be a part of his team for the last 7 years. Commissioner has been such a strong voice for the farmers in Kentucky and continues to move Kentucky agriculture forward on a state, regional, and national level. So it's a pleasure to introduce my commissioner and our Commissioner of Agriculture and one of our good friends, Dr. Ryan Quarles.
I was getting a little nervous there. How about a round of applause for our cooks and our servers here tonight? Thank you, okay? Appreciate that. I love coming to Franklin County for 3 reasons. My family is from here. You all have a wonderful, wonderful dual FFA program and 4-H program here. And Franklin County Fair has the best demolition derby in Kentucky. So I would know, my dad served on the Franklin County Fair boards. I spent my childhood growing up right here in Franklin County. I may have went to Scott County schools, but my first school was a piece of land in Schweitzer between Colston and Lucas Lane. My family farmed for over 20 years, and that's where my roots were spent. My summers were spent raising tobacco. And one thing that Sharon didn't mention is how much student loan debt I had after all those degrees. But my mom told me when I was young, you're going to college, it's not optional, and you have a choice. You can either work in tobacco or study. So I ended up doing both. My family settled in the northern part of Franklin County in the 1780s. Our family farm is the exact location where the Elkhorn Creek enters the Kentucky River. There's a lot of members of my family here tonight. But I know what a ball knob steak is. That's fried bologna. That means you're eating high on the hog. And so the last thing that really gets me really excited is a jewel of Franklin County in agriculture. Is that you all are home of one of the most nationally recognized and important and influential land-grant universities in the country, and that's Kentucky State University. And they deserve a round of applause for what they do. And while we're on the topic, we had a really productive legislative session, and I was so happy to work with KSU leadership and our legislators in the room. Thank you for helping put Kentucky State University on a path to succeed. I want to say thank you on a personal level because my mom, Dr. Bonnie Quarles, taught at KSU for 30 years teaching nursing. And I know as commissioner that we are so privileged to have an HBCU right here in our backyard that's doing research, particularly in aquaponics, that is nationally and internationally recognized. So thank you, legislators, for stepping up to help out KSU. You all deserve a round of applause. Folks, I'm going to be brief tonight. The last couple of years have been tough on everybody. At this point, just about everyone in this room has been affected by the terrible disease, COVID-19. We all probably know someone who's had a struggle with it or had a family member pass away. But there's two groups of people that deserve accolades for going above and beyond during this once-in-a-century pandemic. Number one are our healthcare heroes, keeping us safe. They continue to keep us safe in our hospitals, long-term care facilities, and nursing homes, etc. The second group are the Kentucky farmers, who, despite a pandemic, went out and fed a hungry state and fed a hungry nation. If you are a farmer in the room tonight, please stand, because you all deserve recognition for helping feed us during a global pandemic. Would you please stand up? Please stand up. We appreciate that. Now, we learned a couple things out of COVID-19 in agriculture. We learned about some deficiencies and some cracks in our supply chain system. And perhaps you go back in your time machine 2 years ago this month, you went to the grocery store, you may not have been able to find the exact cut of meat that you wanted, or you may have been limited on how much meat you could buy. That's something that's really foreign as Americans, to not have exactly what you want in the grocery store. And so we used that weakness as an opportunity. And the Ag Development Board, which Mark Harper sits on, here a guest tonight, we decided to not hesitate. For those of us who grew up on tobacco farms, we know that the tobacco settlement money is there. It's a precious resource. And right here in Kentucky, we decided to invest $7 million in over 30 USDA local meat processors that are owned by Kentuckians, so that we can have Kentucky-proud meat more available. And that's something that it shouldn't have taken a global pandemic to recognize, but we are moving forward and helping increase the buy local program here in Kentucky. And of course, the best way you can say thank you to a farmer here in Franklin County is to go down to your wonderful farmer's market on Saturday morning and vote with your taste buds and put your money back into the local economy. And Sharon Spencer oversees over 170 farmers markets and growing across our state. She alone has helped make it easier, particularly for those with lower income on EBT and SNAP benefits, that they too can access local food and farmers markets around this state using some of our programs. And Sharon, thank you for being a cheerleader for local agriculture and for everything you do at the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. You deserve a round of applause. She said that I was her boss, but it's the other way around. I appreciate that. So real quickly here, Kentucky Proud is a program that is the envy of most states around the country. When people see that Kentucky Proud logo, they know that they're supporting local agriculture, local agribusinesses. We're going to continue to make sure that when restaurants were shut down during the pandemic, a lot of Kentuckians learned how to cook again, including myself. And we want to make sure that's not a fad. That's something that's permanent. So we're working with our local school systems, including Franklin County Public Schools, to see what we can do, what we call the Farm to School program, and get more local produce onto the lunch and breakfast menus at our public schools around the state. Because the biggest buyer of food in every county in Kentucky, whether it's Franklin, Jefferson, or Robertson County, is the local school system. And so we're going to try to use this as an opportunity to help spur a renaissance in local agriculture as well. Which brings me to my next point. We have a lot of Kentuckians that still haven't got back up on their feet. Either they were laid off, lost their job, things have transitioned. We had a 30% increase in the number of Kentuckians going to food banks in the past 2 years, many of whom is for the first time in their life. We're so proud at the KDA, we decided if we're going to feed our fellow Kentuckians that need a little extra help, let's make sure that it's Kentucky Proud food. Let's make sure that we create a market for our farmers. And we're so appreciative to run programs like the Farms to Food Banks Trust Fund, which helps buy up produce that otherwise wouldn't make it to the grocery store, put it in the hands of our food banks and the men's shelter downtown as well, and give them the dignity of high quality food the rest of us sometimes take for granted as well. Because at the end of the day, we are part of the safest, most abundant food supply system in the world. There's no reason why any Kentuckian should go to bed hungry at night. Now folks, we have some challenges in agriculture. We have record high inflation. We have supply chain issues. Weather is always an issue. Doubling the cost of fertilizer inputs right now, and the conflict in Ukraine is affecting the price of grain right now in global markets. We live in an incredibly complex and interconnected economy, but there are some bright spots. Trade is up. I just recently returned from 2 trade missions, one to the Middle East, where we visited Dubai and Saudi Arabia, which buy Kentucky Proud horses. Another trade mission to England, where we just successfully got a 25% tariff reduction off of Buffalo Trace bourbon. So when we send it to abroad, they're there. The tariff was dropped the next week, and so we're happy to support our corn growers in the crowd, our legal corn growers in the crowd as well. I just want to say congratulations to our award recipients tonight. I've been going to this event since I was a little kid. And for me, farming's all about family. I know there's a lot of folks in here tonight that may be 1 or 2 generations removed from the family farm. But it took COVID-19 for a lot of us to have a greater appreciation for what agriculture means in America. Let's make sure that it doesn't take another global pandemic or disruption for us to say thank you to our local farmers. I also want to say thank you to our 2 wonderful FFA chapters here. Western Hills, Franklin County. My dad graduated in 1968 from Franklin County, but I just want to say thank you. But you all are probably products of Kentucky 4-H too, right? If you want to invest in the future of agriculture, invest in these 2 organizations. If you can't sponsor one of their events, perhaps help them out at the county fair, but one thing they're always looking for are volunteers. Because chances are, when you grew up, somebody took time to give you a chance, and if you all have some extra time on your hands this year, give these young folks a chance as well by volunteering at their events. So folks, it's planting season across Kentucky. Please share the road with our farmers. We want to get home safe for our families as well. And I just want to say thank you to everybody in this room. And there's one special thing that's going to happen on Tuesday that a lot of people in this world don't get a chance to fully exercise their freedom to vote. A lot of candidates in this room tonight. I think we have a big bumper crowd because of that. But don't ever take for granted the fact that we live in a country that values our freedoms, liberties, and individual rights. Because a lot of people died for us to have this opportunity. So make sure you get out there, make democracy work. And I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to live in a country where we stand for our flag, we kneel before our God, and we give our men and women in law enforcement and military the respect that they deserve. May God bless you. May God bless the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you all so much.
Before we get started with our award program, can I have everybody on our Farm City Committee please stand, because without them, we could not do events like this. So for our first award, please help me welcome Erica Rogers. She's our presenting sponsor tonight from Farm Credit Mid-America.
Talk about a tough act to follow. So we're going to shift now into the awards portion of our program. As a community, I think it's really important that we come together to recognize not only the farm families that we have, but the individuals specifically that are at the heart of our farm community. And I will start that tonight with the recognition of our pioneer farmer, Mr. Jerry Boone. Jerry began farming in 1970 when his dad bought a 150-acre farm on Colston Lane. Like most people in the county at that time, they raised tobacco and cattle. In 1980, Jerry and his wife Janice bought their own 56-acre farm where they raised their family as well as tobacco and cattle. He farmed while he worked a 30-year career with Columbia Gas and is currently in his 21st year with the Southern States here in Frankfurt. In fact, many of you here tonight might have been happy on a cold winter day to see Jerry coming up your driveway to fill up a nearly empty propane tank. Jerry quit raising tobacco when the program ended. He says that he still enjoyed it, but it became challenging as fewer folks were willing to work in the crop, and we all know you can't do something like that without a little bit of help. But now he concentrates on his herd of beef cattle and his large garden, and he is one of the few farmers around that still feeds small squares. The way that he feeds inside and can check his cattle every day results in very little waste, very well-managed operation. And Jerry takes pride in the fact that he can run his operation with very little equipment as well. Some of that equipment might have a little age on it, a little bit of rust, but it gets the job done, and maybe most importantly, it's paid for. When asked what he likes the most about farming, Jerry's response was fooling with the cattle. But overall, he says he enjoys all of it, really. So now I would like to invite our Judge Executive, Houston Wells, Mayor Lane Wilkerson, and Commissioner Quarles back up to the stage to help us present our Honorary Ag Commissioner and 2022 Pioneer Farmer Award to Mr. Jerry Boone.
Okay, next we have Ms. Kelly Buckley, who's going to come up for a Pioneer Farmer Award from Central Kentucky Ag Credit.
Good evening, Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I had too much to eat. TJ Drury and I are here representing Central Kentucky Ag Credit, and we are just honored to be here tonight and be able to present one of the Pioneer Farmer Awards at this year's Farm City Banquet. Mr. Sherman Payton grew up farming right here on the farm that we are gathered here tonight. He was working for Ira Best while he was in high school. He lived just down the road in an old schoolhouse and raised his first crop of tobacco, which was 2/10 of an acre, while he was just 12 years old. With those profits, he was able to purchase himself a Schwinn bicycle. He helped build the Bluegrass Parkway, spent 6 years in the National Guard, worked as an auto mechanic, a hod carrier for a local bricklayer, and eventually retired from a local distillery as their maintenance supervisor. He always had 1 or 2 jobs, while also raising tobacco, growing beef cattle, plus coaching softball and basketball for his kids. He says that the first job was to live off of, and the second would go to savings. Sherman and his wife, Gail, live on their 214-acre farm on Colston Lane, where they raise a big garden and a herd of beef cattle. Both are active in the Franklin County Cattlemen's Association. Sherman says farming was his therapy work. He enjoys the work and likes to see the accomplishments made. He laments that young farmers can't find or afford land or the equipment, and that the best improvement in farming over the last 62 years is the cab tractor with AC. At this time, I would like to ask our pioneer farmer, Mr. Sherman Payton, and along with County Judge Executive Houston Wells, Mayor Lane Wilkerson, and Commissioner Quarles, to please come back and help us present the 2022 Pioneer Farmer Award and Honorary Agriculture Commissioner Award. Congratulations, Sherman.
Okay, next, for our outstanding young farmer, please help me welcome Shannon England from Southern States, Frankfurt.
Good evening. I'm Sharon Spencer. I'm with Southern States, and I'm tickled to be here tonight to get to introduce our outstanding young farmer this year, which is Connor Daly, son of John and Mary Ann. Connor is being honored here tonight for the same award that his father received here not too many years ago. Connor grew up on the family farm and in the family's welding business. In high school, he was exploring his career interests and had questions about extension. Keenan said that he enjoyed getting to know him and quickly realized he was very responsible, hardworking, and a mature young man. As with many youth, after 3 semesters in college, he decided that wasn't the path that he wanted, and so he put college on pause, and he came home to work with his dad in both the family businesses. His college time did have its benefits, though. A former classmate connected him with a ranch in Idaho, and he spent a summer in the saddle bunching cattle while living in a one-room shack in the middle of the high desert. He came home with lots of experiences and 2 Idaho cattle dog pups, one for him and one for his dad. The other benefit of this short stint at the university, as I understand it, was meeting his girlfriend. So I guess attending college does pay off. Connor is the shop manager for the business his dad, John, started, Daly's Welding and Fabrication. They have 3 full-time employees and 1 co-op student. Connor builds and sells his own design of 3-point hitch hay unrollers on the side. In their farming operation, his dad concentrates on the grain production side while letting Connor take care of their beef cattle herds. Connor's portion of cattle includes over 2 dozen first calf heifers and 60 spring calving cows, as well as 4 bulls. They background calves and sell bred replacement heifers. This year, they are adding Charolais genetics into their predominantly black herd. He and his dad raise corn silage, hay, and alfalfa haylage together for the cattle. They have, I think, the only large square baler in the county, which makes 900 to 1,200 pound square bales. Thank you, Connor, and your family for your continued interest in the future of local agriculture. Now I'd like to ask County Judge Executive Houston Wales, Mayor Lane Wilkerson, and Commissioner Quarles to come back up and help us recognize Connor Daly.
So if I could have Ray Bellman from Franklin County Farm Bureau, he's the president, and Keenan Bishop come to the stage, please. So we have something that's kind of off script here. And I just want you guys to know this is a brand new award this year. And we are awarding the Agricultural Woman of the Year Award. And I'm going to let these 2 gentlemen tell you who that is.
You know it's an important award because it takes 2 of us to present it. Quite frankly, I'm stunned that we haven't done this before, and it's just been an oversight because we all know how important women have been to agriculture forever. You know, the ladies have been out there taking care of their share of the farm for a long time. My mother grew up on a farm, my father grew up on a farm as well. When my mother grew up on a farm, she couldn't wait to leave it. And when I bought my first farm, because our farm in western Kentucky had been sold long ago, but I bought my first farm, took her out, so proud of it, took her up on the ridge and showed her the Flat Creek Valley down there, and you know, how beautiful it was. And she said, well, there's no question about it. It's God's country, because ain't nobody but you and him that want it. So, thankfully, not everybody has that opinion of agriculture. Not all the ladies do. And we want to thank all of the ladies that are involved in it more and more every day. And we appreciate you very much. Now, I get the light work. Keenan gets to do the heavy lifting. He's actually going to make the announcement.
So those of you all that have been attending Farm City Banquet for years, you know the outstanding young farmer, the pioneer farmer typically is male, even though they're usually married. We've had ladies in the past that have been honored, and we also had some husband and wife teams that have been honored. But as Ray alluded to, everybody knows that the woman is heavily involved in the farming enterprise typically, even if they're not the ones in the field and on the tractor and working with the cows. They're the ones doing the books, they're the ones doing the cooking for all the crew and things like that. So even though in the past we've honored some pioneer farm women and couples, the committee, like Ray said, there's a lot of women out there that are doing great things. Some of them, on their own. Their husband's doing a whole different thing. And I think, I don't remember the statistic, but there's something like 30-some% of Franklin County farms are owned and managed by women. So it's just been an oversight. So the person we decided to choose for tonight it was kind of a no-brainer. We all knew that she is involved in practically everything. So any event you've been to, anything you've been to, she's been there, whether it's her farm, FFA, the school system, 4-H, Extension, her community, the Department of Agriculture. The problem was we knew that she wouldn't accept the award, so we didn't tell her. And I'm going to have to leave real quick. Why would you do it? But I think anybody that's been involved in agriculture and any of the events, you all know Sharon. She's in everything. She's very giving of herself. She's very unselfish. She'll do anything. Typically when I've got an event going on, she calls me or texts me and asks me, what do you need? What can we do? How can we help? There's nothing more to say except she wouldn't accept the award, so we didn't tell her she was getting it. I will mention real quick that I did have to bring it up to the local farm bureau and her husband because this was happening, and they all know Sharon and mine's relationship, and all of them wanted me to pay them something to keep quiet.
No way I'm speechless, yes I am. Okay, I said I can do this. Farming means a lot to me. Agriculture means a lot. I got that from my papa, Sherman. You know that. He knew my grandfather, my papa. I love it. Everything that I do, these FFA kids, watching them grow up, watching them become our next leaders, our next farmers, has meant the world to me. I'm really surprised that Keena was so nice. I can remember one field day we were at, and I kind of snuck off and went to the porta potty before everybody got there. Next thing I knew, I couldn't get out of it. Somebody had locked me in, so that's been kind of a standing joke with us. Keenan and I went to school together many years ago. But it's just the folks that I get to work with, what I get to do. I love what I do. I get to work for Department of Agriculture. Back in 2009, that was one of my dreams that got to come true. And then get to follow on the coattails and everything with my commissioner has been absolutely wonderful. Yes, this is a surprise you did get me because we talked about it and I'm like, no, and I gave out names of people that they can consider because I don't like the spotlight as much as you all know. I like to talk and all, but I love what I do. The folks that's in this room, I get to work with you all a lot, and like I said, this means the world to me. So thank you all so much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just grateful that she was actually surprised because it was a hard secret to keep. So can we give one more round of applause for all of our award winners because you guys are so fantastic. Thank you to Representative Pfister. Thank you to County Judge Executive Houston Wells. Thank you, Mayor Len Wilkerson. And thank you, Dr. Quarles, for coming up here. And thank you all for supporting us tonight. So we appreciate that. We've got a couple more awards. So please help me welcome Crystal Harrod and Tom Karshner for the Master Conservationist Awards.
Each year, the Franklin County Conservation District nominates someone for the Master Conservation Award. This award has to be signed off by the county agent, the agriculture teacher in the county, the district conservationist, and the Franklin County Conservation District board. And if they don't know the farm or know the person in the farm that they're farming, they'll go out and inspect the farm. And what they check for is best management practices on the farm. And it has to be at least 90-some% of the practices that are practical on that farm that are applying to the land. So it's hard to achieve this goal, but we in Franklin County have a lot of good farmers. Last year we did not get to present this award, so we're going to do two tonight. But for last year, we want to have Buddy Smith to come forward, his family, for this award that Buddy farms out on 151 area over near Anderson County. In fact, he farms in both counties, so we have to share him, but we take credit for him. He gets awards in both counties, actually. With the county judge and mayor, ag commissioner, come forward, please.
Representative Pfister.
This year's award goes to John Busey. John farms out in the eastern part of the county, there at Wood Lake Campground Road, and John has had some good teachers with his dad and his uncle farming together. So the judge and the mayor will come up.
At the end of our program. So I want to welcome Gil Finley from Kentucky State University back to the stage for one more announcement.
Well, you know, being a city boy, lot of things I don't know about the farm. I asked the farmer, I said, hey, can you tell me about a certain animal? He said, what is black and white? It eats a whole lot of everything. I said, well, I know that question. I knew it was going to be a cow. He says, no, a zebra. I said, dang, who would have ever thought that? Just trying to loosen you up. Welcome to Kentucky State. I want to take time to give you some unique things that we have here that you may not know, and we want to make sure you're aware of our resources here. So on behalf of our Dean, Kirk Pomper, one thing we make known to everyone is that we have a scholarship. It's called the 1890 Scholarship. So if you have anyone who is close to being able to come to college, it's a very unique opportunity, and it's a very, very prestigious scholarship that we actually give out to a lot of different folks. So that's one thing. So basically it's a full ride on everything. It's a very, very prestigious actual scholarship, and we would love to be able to share that with the people that you actually refer to our college. But let me tell you a little bit about what's around you that you may know or may not know. So this is the actual Harold Benson demonstration research actual farm. As you can see, our rolling acres and hills here, but we have 300 acres. And basically, here, there's a lot of different expertise that you might want to capitalize that you may not know of. Such as we have soil management and expertise, livestock and nutrition, urban gardening, organic hemp. We have honeybee specialists, experts here. We have over 100 meat goats here. We also teach with different things that's dealing with grazing methods, as well as nutrition education. Along with that, we have a commercial kitchen back here that's accessible for processing and food preparation that can be utilized. We have a unique native of Kentucky or wild fruit, a pawpaw, which is kind of like a tropical fruit, a banana, pineapple, mixed like mango. And out of that, you make a lot of different things. We even have pawpaw jam and jellies, and we have cakes and ice creams, just to name a few. But in addition to that, we have a processing unit that you may not know we have for small birds or rabbits, or turkeys, or quail that can be used, as well as a processing unit for processing a larger candy. But one of the things you may or may not know is that we also have, as we have heard, a world-renowned actual agriculture center. But let's talk about it with agroponics. So that's bait fish and catfish and yellow perch and tilapia, growing shrimp, red claw crayfish, just to name a few, with trout. And even though most people don't even know that bass now has become a white table delicacy. And so it's a high demand for it. We can actually teach you how to take your small ponds that you have and make raceways out of it, raising actual different types of fish. These are just unique things that are here that most people don't know about. In addition to that, we have an environmental education research center, 380 acres in Henry County. I say it all to say this, that if you want to take time out to come and see what's around you, right here in your backyard as a resource, we would be more than willing. The Chamber and Kentucky State University would love to take you on a tour to let you see what is all here. These are just a few things that are here. But we want you to know what's here for you that you can utilize. So welcome to Kentucky State. There's a sign-up sheet out here. Joni, wave your hand. She's going to be out there, small grant, scale grant loans. But we would love for you to take it. We're going to actually take you on a tour. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.
I'd like to take this opportunity to invite all of you all to the Farm City Field Day. We're going to be able to do it this year. It'll be July 14th in the Swallowfield area at the farm of Jonathan and Claire Shepard. They were planning on being here tonight, but he's got some little doctorate thesis exam tomorrow that he's got to study for. So they weren't able to attend tonight, but put July 14th on your calendar. Hope to see all of you all there.
My staff, for one, they are my team. I can't do it without them. Susie Hostel, will you please stand up and be recognized? We had a lot going on. Joy Brooks was here with us all day when we were out here this morning setting up, and she had another event she had to get to, so Joy Brooks is another part of our team that we couldn't do without. I want to thank our Farm City Farm Credit Mid-America for being the Farm City sponsor. So thank you to them. We always want to thank our President's Club partners because we can't do what we do without them. We have media partners that are here tonight that we want to thank, so thank you to all of our media partners. We love what you do for us. We hope we can give back enough for the community. And then, the last couple of things, you have a magazine on your table. This is our brand new first edition of our Frankfurt Chamber magazine. Please take that home with you. If you want more, we have hundreds. So we'd be happy to bring you some. And then these beautiful plants on the table came from all the FFA students. And they are for sale. These two big ones up here are $75, so the first one gets it. The big baskets are $20. The smaller ones are $10, and the tiny ones are $5. 100% of those proceeds goes back to those kids. So please purchase those and take those home tonight. And we appreciate you coming. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Good night.